Hello, Taurus. Let's look at your overall energy for the week, what the current energy looks like. And then I look at you first, and then I look at your person, and then I look at Aries through Pisces. Let's see what's shifting this week. All right. So the overall energy is the death card, very scorpionic energy. It could feel like death this week, right? We're in a lot of energy of uncertainty right now. And that is because something has ended, something has changed, something has shifted in the collective energy. We did just have that full moon eclipse. And this card's been coming up a lot, which means that there's just no going back at this point. We already know what we know. We know something's different. We feel it. And so now we're opened up to, we made space for something new to come in. But the other thing about this death card is that this week, if you're feeling very uncertain about a connection, the death card always shows me that immediately we feel like something is over. It's got to be over if it's uncertain. And we tend to get caught up in that and start to panic, like we got to fix something, we got to change something. But that's just a feeling that we're connected to. It's like our fight or flight, And what's happening is something, it might not be ending for you, right? The situation isn't ending. Things aren't falling off the table. Your relationship might not be completely over, but right now it's just uncertain. So we don't know what to do in this energy. So it really is. This is another one of these cards where you got to let go of what's trying to happen or what you're trying to make happen, because the universe, we don't know what the universe is trying to shift for us just yet in the situation that we're currently in. So let's see your energy and then your person's energy. I have you, 3 of Cups, all right? Your biggest challenge, the Wheel of Fortune. All right, how you view your situation and your person, the 4 of Wands. So right there, the challenge, the Wheel of Fortune, it's just timing right now for you. Timing is off. And it's hard for you to have fun in a situation that you might be feeling like something needs to happen. It doesn't feel right. You have the 9 of Swords underneath that death card. So it feels like something, is disappearing or something's ending, and it's inevitable that, you got to let go, right? But you're not letting go of your desire. You're letting go of the control of what's happening right now, because even the Wheel of Fortune is telling you something is shifting. All right. And with you trying to control what's going on right now in an energy of, I don't even know what's happening, but I'm going to try everything. That's like trying to solve a problem, but not even knowing where to start and just grabbing anything and just going at it, right? Until you figure it out. And then you could have broke it, and found out all you needed was a piece of tape or something like that. But what I'm seeing here is, this Wheel of Fortune is asking you to let the universe direct your destiny right now. Your job is to be around people that you feel comfortable with and having fun, right? It looks like you have somebody here that really enjoys your company and really wants to maybe be together with you. And this could be a turning point for you in a relationship this week. The 3 of Cups is screaming to me. This is a moment of, you can't beat them, fuck them, join them, whatever you say. And you go out to the beach, you go out and have a good time. You go out and have fun, especially if you cannot figure out what the problem is or what the uncertainty is, because without that, you can't figure out a solution. All right. Now let's take a look at your person. The Hermit card. There's the problem. You feel like somebody is a little bit quiet from you, or somebody is feeling, maybe somebody's ready to get out of hermit mode. We'll see what their challenge is. All right. I see the 10 of Pentacles. And let's see how they view you. The 8 of Swords. All right, let's see what's shifting with them. And I see the Ace of Pentacles. All right, so your person here is reaching a point here. I can see it. All right, and let's see what Spirit thinks you should do regardless of your person. I see the Knight of Cups. All right, so we'll come back to that Knight of Cups. You're dealing with somebody that tends to go within or hide themselves when they feel overloaded with responsibility. All right, the 10 of Pentacles is their challenge, and they may be overcommitted, or they may be somebody that just is always working, always about fun. I mean, always about the responsibilities. And and so they may be kind of distancing themselves from you. And this could be where you're feeling some sense of uncertainty. Because whenever somebody shows up as the hermit with me, it shows me that your person is being distant from you and you're not feeling connected with them. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is a challenge, tells me you may have dealt with this person before several times, or this type of situation where, you just don't know what to do to make somebody happy, or you don't know what to do in the situation when somebody pulls away from you. They view you as the Eight of Swords, so it's telling me that whenever this person does pull away, you seem to think it's about you, or you get in, you feel like you did something wrong, and it can trigger your insecurities. It can trigger, doubt within you, self-doubt within you, like, are you not good enough? What's going on, right? But this person here is the Ten of Pentacles. It seems like this person here is invested in this connection, and they can see potential of a relationship here with you, right? But this is somebody that likes to walk their path their own way. And so sometimes they need this sense of freedom. They need their space, their time out. They need to retreat. They probably need to communicate that a little bit more. Sometimes a person like this doesn't realize what it can do to another person if it creates this much anxiety in you, right? But their intention is showing me here that it's not to be cruel. It's not being like that. It's being overwhelmed more. Now, here's the good news that just comes through, though, because you've got the Three of Cups and you have the Four of Wands, and you have, what's turning this week is a chance to start fresh, the Ace of Pentacles. And I'm seeing here for you to bring the love in for your person with the Knight of Cups, right? Be strategic, because it does look like your person here really maybe overwhelmed themselves with all their responsibilities. This could be somebody that stays at home all the time. This could be somebody that just, gets stuck in their routine as well, too, of being alone and used to doing everything on their own or by themselves, that sometimes they need a helping hand, the Three of Cups, to say, hey, let's have some fun. Let's lighten things up. So if you're showing up, though, as the Eight of Swords and you're getting stressed out because of your person, if you're trying to connect with them, and this looks like a repeated pattern here, coming back around. If you're trying to connect with them in this reading, it is showing me that it would work if you would maybe soften up and be a little bit more vulnerable and open up to some ideas of, being more lighthearted, casual, romantic. And this isn't with giving your values away, okay? This isn't giving the gifts with somebody not showing up. But this is showing up in a softer way this week and maybe expressing how you truly feel, opening up a little bit. Maybe this person does need you to open up a little bit, but not from a place of anxiety or fear. That's what's most important. From a place of love, and let's just kind of, not bring up the problems of yesterday, because that always seems to be what we do, especially when the Death card is happening. We bring up the problems of the past, and the Death card is saying right now, this week, let the past be in the past and let it be, and just be in the present moment with your person, because it looks like your person truly is craving some fun or some happiness. And with you, they can see, they feel content, they feel very peaceful in the connection with you. But these moments where they pull away are the ones where it feels like it's very difficult for you to trust this person. Now, what's shifting this week, like I said, is the Ace of Pentacles. So you are seeing a chance to turn something around. You have the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Pentacles, which is my lottery, winning the lottery. Take a chance. You could win some money, right? But don't use your savings, just like a dollar, okay? But this week could be winning the lottery with your person by the approach that you take, opening up the doorway, connecting. You want to connect with them first before we go, back to whatever we need to resolve. We got to take it step by step, right? Slow it one step at a time. So you're basically planting a seed this week. If you have something serious that you need to deal with your person, that's not off the table. But right now it looks like we can't even even get to stage 1 yet because there's a lot of anxiety. So we have to kind of, be more strategic, and this to me, the Knight of Cups is also strategy of using your heart and connection to kind of let your person, make the move, but let your person show up. And then each move you play after that is very strategic when it comes to really paying attention to what your person needs. All right. If you're, I'm just trying to help you get your person to open up to you here with the Hermit card. And I can be the Hermit, so I know that it's easier if when we open the door, if it looks inviting. All right. But like I said, this isn't going against your values, and you're not giving without receiving either. You're just kind of dangling a carrot here, a carrot of love. All right. So let's see Aries through Pisces. If you're connected to an Aries, I see Queen of Swords, all right? So, you have communication all around this, being able to talk about things, making sure things are right, but you are getting to use discernment too as well. If something doesn't feel right, you got to say no. You got to create boundaries. Now, this is also if your Aries too tends to ghost you or back up, and whenever you make a move, all right, this is where you don't make another move. You just back up and you don't play the game. You got to create boundaries, all right? And then that's just part of it. That's any dynamic you're in, everybody gets a turn here. And so I do see potential communication coming in. Maybe we can finally get some clarity. Taurus, I see the Five of Pentacles. So it feels like you see the light in somebody, you see the potential in somebody, you see the potential in a situation, but it's hard to see past the difficulty. All right. You do have the Five of Pentacles here. This is ruled by you. This is your energy. 5, 6, and 7 of Pentacles, right? And so the good news about the 5, 6, and 7 of Pentacles is that you're going to muster through it. All right. If nobody does it, you can do it. You'll get it. You'll figure it out. And so most likely you will muster through any issue you have with your person. This reading feels like it's just asking you to change your dynamic so you can have a more pleasant approach or pleasant outcome. Because I see the light is on here, and this week could be a chance to really make a difficult situation actually benefit you and benefit the relationship, and it could turn things around. With another Taurus too. Gemini, the Fool card. All right, so you got the Fool energy here with Gemini, and that can be another fresh start even after. Remember, your overall energy is the Death card. But if you're dealing with somebody who's constantly on again, off again, I am seeing a repeated pattern. Aries just had this. So you are seeing that there is full potential here, but sometimes you have to ask yourself, how many times have I been here before? Yes, I love when they come back in, and I'm addicted to when they come back in, and there is pure potential. But you may need to be maybe not trusted so freely right away, and take it one step at a time moving forward, because this could be another cycle of a Gemini showing up and then disappearing again to avoid accountability or responsibility. So fresh energy, new energy. We have Cancer making a decision this week. It feels like they already know what they need to do, but they constantly talk themselves out of it. You can't force them. It seems to me like your Cancer really does want to change something that's going on with them. They want to be more open. If they've been doing the crab crawl or hiding inside their crab shell, it does feel like you're pulling them out, and but it is being strategic with a Cancer as well too. Kind of dangle the carrot a little bit and see if they nibble. All right. But it does feel like you're a Cancer, whoever you're connected to really is looking for some other, way to go other than being by themselves. So it doesn't feel good to them being by themselves. Leo, Knight of Wands, you and Leo spunking things up, getting feisty, getting fun. This would be a great week for you and Leo to really, really find something fun and different to do. And I am saying that to a lot of my Taurus Leo couples that I know are out there. And, I'm just saying it even in general in this reading. This could be a week where everybody's supposed to be just kind of doing a reset and trying to approach a situation differently. and having some fun, you know, especially when things are too uncertain. Now, if you're in a situation where somebody is just being non-receptive, I mean, that's a different story. You know, there's other things going on there, and you're just knocking on somebody's door and they're just not available. All right. Sometimes the death card is, you know, we just got to realize something's over. It's not going anywhere. All right, Virgo, Ace of Cups, more potential with the Virgo here, right? So I love it. There's something starting here. You know, there is maybe opening of the heart this week, opportunity to open the heart. But remember, your challenge is the Wheel of Fortune. So if you're dealing with something that is constantly coming around and you've just gotten comfortable with it, just know that this could be a repeated pattern with the Virgo too. They open their heart and then, you know, it just seems like we go nowhere, nothing happens. So pay attention to some of these patterns, but there is potential to turn things around here with your Virgo, and they might even express their feelings to you this week. You know, their true feelings. Libra, Knight of Swords, energy moving quickly here. It could be very fast energy, but this guy here to me is my, let's go have some fun. All right. So if you're dealing with a Libra who only always ever wants fun and doesn't want to commit, and it seems like you're taking a risk and you're just dealing with somebody who's casual, well, that's not really changing. It looks like they're coming in and, you know, it's going to maybe leave just as fast as it came in. Right. On the other hand, though, for some of you, I don't want to discourage you. This can be somebody that there is potential with, always with a knight. But again, it does show me here that this week is maybe trying to enjoy the ride, have some fun, and lighthearted energy. So it's not going to change the result. If you are dealing with somebody who is in a relationship with you and you feel very certain with them, this can be just, it's time to go have fun and lighten things up and let's get past something. But if you're dealing with somebody you know is just the fun guy, fun gal, you know, I mean, you're taking your chances. Scorpio, the Hanged Man. All right. So things may feel stagnant right now between you and a Scorpio, but that is not true. It just feels uncertain. You know, things are feeling like they're off, maybe up in the air. You know, with this kind of energy, we are collectively going through this kind of void energy when you see the Hanged Man. It's like my mind is changing, our thoughts are changing, our viewpoints are changing, you know, about the situation. And it can feel like letting go is losing, but you're not. You guys are changing into something else. All right. So this relationship here with a Scorpio is really asking to look at it differently and maybe not define it just yet, because there's so much possibilities of where this can go depending on how we view the situation. So this week could be a pause for you guys. And that pause could be simply, let's just take a step outside the box and try and lighten things up and just have fun until we can see where this is going. Sagittarius, I see the 9 of Wands, right? So Sag is kind of feeling a little bit worn out. That's their energy, all right? It doesn't mean they're giving up. It doesn't mean it's over. It looks like for some of you, you have another go in this. You know, there's something that keeps you guys going, but I can see that they are worn out. So they're not going to tolerate much more pressure is what I see. So that doesn't mean that you're adding all kinds of pressure on a person. It could be somebody who's not tired and they wouldn't think you were pressuring them at all. But if somebody is showing up to you in your reading as the 9 of Wands, they have no more room for any kind of extra pressure. And so if they pull away their energy, you know, it's because they can't handle it. But also, I'm seeing from your person is they don't want to pull away. They want to do something more fun or just kind of shift the conversation just until things ease up a little bit between the two of you. Capricorn, 7 of Wands. So Capricorn here being persistent this week, stepping up, maybe being honest with you. They may give you a little bit of pushback and, you know, expect if you want the truth from them, you got to, you know, listen to them. 7 of Wands can be somebody defending themselves and saying, hey, this is the way it is. This is what it is. And if somebody pushes back at you and it's a Hermit card, they are telling you in that moment, this is what I need, but you're not listening to me. So if they block block you, it's because you're not listening to them, or they feel like you're not listening to them. Now, that might not be your perspective of it. You might feel like you're being fine. And like I said, you could be with anybody else. They might be seeing it that way. But your Capricorn is feeling like they're on the defense here, and which means that I'm constantly having to rebuttal, or I'm constantly having to, defend my stance, or speak my truth, or confess, or whatever it is. And so that could be why they're pulling away. But I do see some movement this week with the Seven of Wands. There could be another chance to confront a situation with your Capricorn in a different light, so that we can kind of release the pressure. Aquarius, Queen of Wands. Aquarius showing up as the Queen of Wands. All right, so Aquarius kind of on point, ready for some fun. They might surprise you this week by just knocking on your door and saying, let's go. All right, very focused energy, really wants to do something fun, bring the fire in. So it kind of feels to me like some people are just like, I can't take this energy right now. So I just need to do something different and have some fun. All right, so it's going to be all of us, Pisces, the Knight of Pentacles. So Pisces here, planning, take it one step at a time with a Pisces. There's somebody who is cautious, may work a lot, may like to do things one at a time. So this week you may see some movement, and it might be a little bit hard to kind of coerce somebody like this, or get them to, shake their schedule up. But again, you have potential here with the Pisces here to say, let's make some plans, let's do something different. So focus on the little wins this week with your Pisces, and maybe making a different plan or trying a different approach. If you're still with me, I'm going to pull your yes, no card. Think of your question. You have a yes. You have the Six of Wands, Leo energy. All right, fighting your battles and getting through, all right? But this is about little victories. You want to see some improvement. You want to see the rewards. You want to get the attention that you're looking for. You got to focus on all the little wins that you get throughout the week, and not try to fight the entire war at once, all right? So this week is difficult maybe for a lot of people, and then some people might be feeling more of a sense of ease, like I want to chill, and that could be you versus your person, all right? So how do we work with that dynamic? All right, this is where we both win. All right, a win-win situation here with this card. How can we do this week? All right, because there is a lot of heart here, a lot of love space. So Leo, maybe where I was talking about Leo, could be something continuous for all of you guys. I love you guys. Take care.